When you were a kid, did you go to summer camp? Did you have an imaginary friend that your parents found just a bit ridiculous? Well then, you are not so different from our hero, Jojo Betzler. Jojo is just like every young kid. He's growing up in a world that he doesn't fully understand while searching for the place he fits in. Will he blend in amongst the masses, or will he find his own way? I'm James Hawkinjos, and this is The Rewind.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Hey guys, this is Jimmy, and you're listening to The Rewind, presented by House of Hats Podcast Network.
Your scientists are so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they just don't think they should.
Never tell me the odds.
The Rewind.
The Rewind.
The Rewind.
It's showtime.
Live from Suffolk County. Take it away, Jim.
Well, it's The Rewind. And on this episode, we're going to do Taika Waititi's 2019 black comedy, Jojo Rabbit.
I don't think there were any black people in that movie.
No, there wouldn't be. It's
Well,
Nazi Germany.
yeah.
There's not
Okay.
many of them,
Yeah,
Yeah.
in that area at that time. So.
got it.
Yeah.
Got
I
it.
meant more specifically the genre, black comedy or dark comedy.
Well,
I guess
maybe
dark
calling people
comedy
dark.
is a better way.
I'm almost positive it's labeled as black comedy.
Yeah, it is, but it might have been switched since we're in PC culture now.
You get it. It's a dark comedy. Should we just do this over? Should we just
No.
start this one over?
No. You're the one on the wire now calling things black comedy. So
All right, dude. All right,
this
dude.
isn't Black Dynamite.
Let's not even mention that movie. I still have PTSD from that, so let's just not.
Great film.
Mm-hmm.
So-
Uncle Jai White is opening up a studio in Connecticut called Gigantic Studios. Just throwing that out there.
Are they only going to make kung fu films?
I didn't even think about that, but hopefully. That'd be amazing. That dude's awesome.
Oh my God. All right, so let me just get right into this. So, Taika directed it and wrote it, and it was based on Caging Skies by Christian Loons or something like that. I'm not sure what the last name is. The cinematographer is
Mihai.
Mihai
I forget his last name.
Malamar Jr. I think it is. I'm so bad with names. For being someone who does this for a living, I'm horrible with names. Editor was Tom Eagles. Cast Roman Griffin Roman Griffin Davis as Jojo. Thomasine McKenzie as Elsa. Scarlett Johansson as Rosie. Taika Waititi as Adolf Hitler. Sam Rockwell as Captain Klenzendorf. Is that right? Am I saying
That sounds right. I think that's right.
I
think
was just going with Captain K.
Captain K. Rebel Wilson.
Ooh, Captain K.
That's one of my favorite scenes. He's so good. Rebel Wilson as Fräulein Ram. Alfie Allen as Freddie Finkel, I think it is. It's Finkel, I know is his name, but it's like something.
Captain K's bitch?
Yeah,
That
Captain
guy,
K's
the guy
bitch.
who doesn't speak
It's-
a
Bitch.
line?
Stop. They're like
Line. He speaks a lot of lines.
Does he?
Yeah.
I feel like
He
does,
says, "Woo, Captain K,"
Yeah,
and
he
then he
does
does
that.
like a couple other
He
ones.
does so much face acting in this movie.
He's
We'll get into it.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
But yeah, Stephen Merchant as Dietz and Archie Yates as Yorkie, who I love him. He's probably one of my favorite ones in the movie. He's so
Yeah.
freaking cute. Runtime was 108 minutes, which was about an hour 48. Rated PG-13. Release date November 8th, 2019. Budget, any guesses?
40.
No.
Can I get like a...
He gets it down.
You chose to go first.
27.
No, but you're closer. 14. Estimated 14 million. So pretty,
Out of
actually,
four.
fairly low budget film.
Yeah.
Considering what they did with it and where they shot. I'm pretty sure they shot most. Well, I have it right now.
Warsaw, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of no, it was in the Czech Republic. They shot all in the Czech Republic. Box office. I have opening weekend and worldwide numbers.
Opening weekend, 500,000.
Nope.
Opening weekend?
Yeah.
I gotta stop guessing first. This is bullshit.
Well, I didn't ask for a lifeline on this one. 750,000.
No, it's an indie film, super indie. It was $349,555.
Price is Right, bitch.
Yeah.
So worldwide.
Worldwide was significantly
All right.
higher.
That's on you.
17.5 million.
No.
Oh, right.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to hit 40 again or go 80, so I'm going to say 67.
90 mil.
Fucking A.
Should have went
Good
80.
job. Good job.
So the location was the Czech Republic. Do you know the camera?
The camera?
Yeah, because you know this film pretty well.
No, I don't know the camera.
Ari Alexa,
Oh.
SXT. Awards, we'll go into awards later. And yeah, so that's pretty much. Do you want to go into facts now too?
No.
You
We're
wanna-
gonna do the old first time you saw it.
Yeah.
Gage, you go first.
I was on a fucking plane. I knew about
From
this
where to
movie.
where?
I just New York to LA, and I just saw
Red
it
Eye?
there. No, just early morning, and then yeah, it just popped up on the screen, and I said, I know about this one. I'm gonna watch that because it seems like something that I don't need to like watch on my couch in like the correct setting, and it was fucking awesome. It's solid plane movie. You're gonna watch a movie on a plane.
Yeah.
But
It
then
is
I've
good.
watched it like 2 or 3 times since. Like you pick up on little things here and there too in this one.
Oh yeah, I've seen it a bunch of times
Mhm.
now at this point. Score it.
8-9.
8-9.
8-9.
Okay. So this was a movie that you had told me you gotta watch Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
You gotta watch Jojo Rabbit.
I'll tell that to anyone.
And you were hounding me on it for a couple of weeks, and we looked, and it wasn't on anything.
It wasn't.
It wasn't on any of the apps. You
Yeah.
can only buy it, and I was like, nah, not yet, biding our time. And then sure as shit, it comes out on HBO Max. God bless HBO Max. So the first night we saw it on HBO Max, we watched it. Incredible.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's so funny. It's well done. It's, because we're talking about a delicate thing here, talking about World War II
Mhm.
and Hitler Youth groups. It's a delicate subject to be funny about.
Yeah.
So I think they did a lot of things the right way. I'm giving it a 9.3.
That was my first rating, and then I started thinking about some technical aspects that we could get into. But
So I watched it. We watched this together, me and James, and I loved it. I mean, I've been huge World War II buff. Like I just know a lot about it, specifically about like Nazi regime and like what they did and how they manipulated the minds of the young and all that stuff. So it was so interesting to see a comedic take on such a dark topic and how it's like, at face value, you're like, oh, it's about a little boy whose imaginary best friend is Hitler and he
Mhm.
wants to be a Nazi. But in reality, it's really about a little boy who's just trying to find himself in this crazy upside down world and just wanting to belong to something, which I think is just a really beautiful story. And I think he did it in such a beautiful way and with so much comedy that it really is an amazing movie. It's probably one of my favorite movies, honestly, that I've seen in the last couple of years. And I've seen it so many times, honestly, at this point.
Mhm.
I overwatch movies though too. Like I'm one of those people that will put on a movie 1,000 times because I want to know like everything I can about it and like see all the aspects of it. But I would probably put this at I'm like right around you guys too. I'm gonna go with like a 9. Put it at a 9.
9 flat.
9 flat.
9 or 9er.
9. 9 flat.
Not 9.9.
Not
Not
9.
That's damn near
9.
perfect.
9.
9.0.
Just 9.
Just 9.
Just
Just
9.
Just 9.
9. Yeah, no, I do. I tell everyone about this movie and I literally just tell them, oh, it's a movie about a boy whose imaginary best friend is Hitler. And they're like, what? And I'm like, it's comedy. And they're like, what? And I'm like, just watch it. I swear. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so that's my feelings on it.
Word.
But
It's an incredible film. Everything from the beginning, you don't really stop laughing. The first time you watch it,
Yeah.
you don't really stop laughing. There's not a lot of lulls.
Uh-huh.
And this movie fits like my weird self-rule where like under 2 hours. Like for
Mhm.
what it is, under like the runtime is perfect. You just shot, hour 48, right?
An hour 48, yeah.
For what it is, you see, like, if this movie was 2.5 hours, it's down to like a 6 something, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's paced perfectly. It's just enough. You don't get sick of it. You're never looking at your clock.
Mm-hmm.
That's another way I gauge movies. Like, how often am I watching
Yeah,
the
if I'm
clock?
waiting for it to end,
If I'm watching the clock, you could have lopped some time off.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I honestly don't think I ever once look at my watch when I'm watching this film. Like, is it almost done? Unless I have something to do.
Yeah.
Like, unless like I have something planned and I'm like, oh shit, what time is it? Like, how much longer do we have?
Yeah.
But if I'm just putting it on, like, I never question the time. I think I agree with you on that. I think the length really is works.
This is one that I wanted more of when I was watching it the first time. It was like, oh, I'm feeling an ending coming, and I don't want to.
But I feel like it ends so perfectly.
It does. I mean, that's how a good movie should feel. It's like leaving a party early.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, always just wants you leaving a little bit more.
Yeah.
Just want a little bit more. You know?
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I think it's I think he did a really good job on capturing Nazi Germany at that time through the eyes of a little kid.
A little kid that wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah, because he makes it so beautiful.
Yeah.
And like you want to go there. Like you want to like almost be in that time. Like you want to know these people and see these characters. And it almost masks the tragedy that was World War II. But without doing that, you know?
He does it in a way of ridiculousness.
Right.
Like almost making, like not almost, just flat out making fun of how crazy and paranoid and ridiculous people were due to Hitler at the time.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to get too into it now because we're going to get to this. But the whole Gestapo scene with Steve Merchant.
Yeah.
With the, we think there's a communist behind the fridge. It's just mold. Same thing. It's all part of the job. Like, it's incredible. Like it's got that whole tone throughout the entire thing. Even with the girl Elsa talking to Jojo, the whole tone of the thing is just undermining how ridiculous these whole concepts that people live by in Nazi Germany during World War II.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The opening is so sick too, because it paints the picture so well of like, what am I getting into? To open it up with Hitler talking to this little kid. Like,
it's one
what
of
is
the
your
best
courage?
scenes.
Panther courage. Oh, you're ready, man.
Yeah.
And then they
You're gonna have a
fucking
great
scream
day.
at each other.
Heil me.
Yeah.
That's not the Heil. This is a Heil. Heil.
Heil. And then it gets you pumped up. It gets you ready for the film. And then it jumps in and he goes running off. And then it's just got like 1940s footage of the war.
Yeah.
And then I want
to
to hold
the German
your hand.
version of I want to hold your hand. I was
like
cracking up.
So fucking perfect the way this movie kicks off.
It's so smart, honestly. And the first time I remember watching it too, where I saw this cutting in of him running down, highlighting everyone with these gorgeous colors. It was a stunning palette that he had, intercut with this live footage of Nazi Germany, of these parades and stuff like that. And like the history buff in me was like just obsessed with it, and the film major in me was just going, this is just so incredibly done.
Yeah.
And we weren't even we were 5 minutes into it, and I'm going, this is
it was like his view of where he was at that time too. It's not like any other World War II film in Eastern Europe where it's just like drag colors, everything's blowing up. It's like this kid sees this as a beautiful place and his home, and he just wants to defend it and fight for it and be a big part of it.
Yeah.
One of the best scenes in the entire film is after they do the whole thing with the rabbit and he runs away, and then Taika gives him the speech about the rabbit faces a dangerous world, that whole thing. And then when they're running, I don't know if it's before they get there or after he gets the grenade, but when they're running and Taika's running beside him, like dancing the entire time.
It's after he gets the grenade.
It's after he gets the grenade, right?
Yeah.
He's like walking sideways.
Doing one of these.
Yeah, he's shooting guns.
Yeah,
that whole bit is one of the... And then the grenade hits the tree, blows himself up, and it's such a funny scene, like the actual pyro scene, and the body just falls 2 feet.
Yeah, don't do that. It's that whole sequence is incredible. Just him screaming through the fog, like all the fog's dissipating, and Captain Cage turns around, he's like, don't do that. And their faces too. Sam Rockwell's face, like the use of
face.
slow motion mixed with normal speed is so well done, because that scene alone shows it, where they're running like it's a normal thing, and then all of a sudden you hear the screaming and they turn like normal, and it enters slow-mo with the fog clearing. They're running through the fog, and you get Sam Rockwell's face and Alfie Allen's face, and that is honestly some of the best comedy of the scene. Like all the physical comedy is great too, but the facial expressions in this movie and the just the physical comedy of this movie is so good.
There is so much great facial acting in this movie, specifically what's Alfie Allen?
Alfie Allen, yeah.
Alfie Allen and Rebel specifically.
Rebels.
There are scenes Rebel doesn't even speak in, and she steals the scene with her face.
Mm-hmm.
She's phenomenal.
I mean,
we were talking about maybe coming up with a new award in honor of Rebel Wilson in this movie.
Yeah,
I just don't know what it is.
Because
I'm like,
best subtle acting.
We'll get to it, but I think she's close to Taika for the best acting in the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
I saw an interview of like the Jojo Rabbit cast, and they were saying that every time Rebel Wilson was on set, they could not stop laughing because she improv'd 90% of those scenes. Like the Picasso line is improv and stuff like that. So there's a bunch of stuff in there. I think there was like 4 or 5 different ways she said I've had 18 kids for Germany. What a great year to be a girl. Like there's a bunch of ways she said that line. That was one that was used. They said that she was amazing on set and just a great sport and stuff like that.
When she's giving him the propaganda, she's like, here are your pamphlets and your whatever, and here's your gun. And ScarJo's like, no, gun.
I love when she's teaching them about like Jewish people, and she's like, what else they have? They're like serpentine. Yes, serpentine. And it's like, they're like scales. Yes, because the Jews mated with fish. And they're like, ooh, ouch. Now it's time to burn some books. Like, it's just so ridiculous and good. And that burning the book scene is amazing. Yeah, oh my God.
Yeah.
I think about that scene like
just
on a
shot
random
like a
Tuesday.
fun summer camp.
It is.
With the subject matter being ridiculous.
With the burning of anything that we disagree with.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love too with that whole entire sequence is amazing. But when they're talking about the knife and he's like, no stabbing. He's like, no stabbing. No stabbing. Just stuff like that. It's just so smart. And it's like, I don't know. I haven't reread my notes since I made the notes like months ago, but I know Taika did research for it, but he didn't do a lot. And
he said something in an interview that was to the tune of, I didn't want to represent this man in any way. Yeah. I wanted it to just be whatever it's supposed to be for part of the story. I don't care about how he was as a person.
Yeah. So you know what we'll do is we'll take a quick break and then we'll come back with facts and we'll get into that.
All right.
Are you ready to experience the dark and macabre? Look no further than Tiger Pack Productions. Tiger Pack Productions, independent film company by our friends Emily and Vincent. They started back in 2018. They've done a few short films, The Attack and Flora's Daughter. Award-winning at dozens of festivals. This company's on the rise. They're just getting started. So why don't you guys give them a follow on their Instagram and Facebook at Tiger Pack Productions, and go to their website, www.tigerpackproductions.com, and see their entire catalog of products and what they offer. They're really cool people. You should check them out.
All right, and we're back. And Emily's got some fun facts for us here.
Okay, so when Taika, who is Maury Jewish, was asked why he played Hitler, he responded, "The answer is simple. Well, better fuck you to the guy." So like that just immediately shows his thought process to this. 1940s Germany was very vibrant with color, and Taika wanted to keep that look, and it also masked this idea that they were losing. Which at that point, the movie, they are completely losing the war. I think it's supposed to be 44. It's supposed to be around 43, 44 at that point in time, I believe, just based on the movie itself. Captain K, his medals signify he was a really well-decorated hero, and that also shows like his angst in teaching kids, and then even worse when he's put into like the propaganda department with Alfie and Rebel. Taika said it is a love letter to his mom, who was the one who showed him this book, and they had a whole connection over the book and stuff like that. And when he said when he read the book, he really loved the story, and becoming a director, he really wanted to make it a movie. The message is we need to be more tolerant and spread more love and less hate. Taika said that he did no research in Hitler, which when I read that, I was kind of stunned because a lot of his mannerisms and a lot of what he like chose to do to deliver Hitler, minus the cigarettes, was very spot on. Like, it's odd little things that he says because Hitler was pretty fucking nuts. Like,
Yeah.
he was very smart and he was very, very charismatic, and he knew how to manipulate people to get to him, like them to do what he wanted. But he wouldn't have ever done what he did without his inner circle and the people behind him that like got him to power.
Yeah.
Because he had no plan. Like if you ever read anything from Mein Kampf or any like just script notes from it, you'll find out like, it's just ramblings. It's just ramblings of a madman. And I was like super curious about that book too because it came out in I believe 32, and America, like the US, received it. It was globally received terribly. It was a horrible book. People hated it. And they just dismissed it as some crazy guy. And then all of a sudden, when everything started happening in Germany and World War II happened, everyone was kind of like, that guy's doing all that? So I was always so confused by that. And like when I started doing research into World War II and into how he even managed to get to power, I kind of started to understand like, oh, this guy was just fucking nuts. Like he just knew how to talk. And he had like rantings and ravings.
Galvanize a country.
Yeah. It's actually, if you ever look into like the rise of Hitler, what really happened was he pretty much went to a bar, like a tavern, and was just ranting. It was right after he got out of jail, and he had produced his manifesto, and he was just ranting about just ridiculousness. And there was a couple different people in the bar, like Goring and a couple of big guys. Specifically, I forget his name right now, but he was a playwright, a German nationalist playwright, and he heard Hitler and was like, that guy can talk. Yeah. If I write his speeches, he could be the face of our party. Yeah. And that's what they did. They talked to him, they brought him in, and the guy started writing all of Hitler's speeches. Hitler got in front of everyone. He started just getting this mass following. And when he realized the power that he had within himself and what he was doing, not them, because he got delusional, was like, it's all me. He left because he was like, I want to be chancellor. And they were like, no, you're crazy. We're not going to let you be chancellor. And he's like, okay, then I'm leaving. Yeah. And when he left, his like people dispersed, and the Nazi party realized, oh shit, we need him. And they brought him back, and like, well, what do you want to be back? And he was like, I want to be chancellor. And they made him chancellor. And then 1938 happened. He was elected chancellor of Germany, and we had World War II. So it's kind of this crazy thing that Taika did absolutely no research into Hitler, but yet does pretty well job at portraying him, you know? Yeah. There's little things that, like Hitler was a vegetarian, and you see him eating, I think, like a unicorn head. It's not even like it was a horse head. It was like a unicorn head or something like that.
Like the complete opposite.
Yeah. So like there's that fact. And then like Hitler never smoked. He's very, very anti-smoking and stuff like that. Like super anti-smoking and super anti-drugs and alcohol and stuff. But like those little things were the only thing that were really different. But other than that, like the way he spoke, the way he would like hold his body and stuff like that, I was shocked to read that he did no research into it because I mean, maybe just the research he did was in like just the memories he had of like what, like, you know, the knowledge he had of it and seeing anything from school maybe just stuck with him and he never kind of forgot that. Yeah. I mean, that's one thing I could think of because like, I know it stuck with me. I don't know if it stuck with you guys seeing like, did you have to see any like Nazi propaganda in school and stuff like that?
Not that I remember. I mean, you talking about in high school?
I've seen.
Yeah, high school.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen like clips here and there, but not like.
You weren't like.
I mean, they put on like a speech, but it's like, I don't know what he's saying.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like we didn't break anything down or.
Yeah, no, we went into. I was also in history honors though, so maybe that's why. But yeah, so I thought that was interesting. Taika wore a fat suit. Obviously, he's a pretty skinny guy. Yeah. On context of the role, he said, "It's my version of a lonely boy's best version of his hero, which is really his dad." Which when I heard that, I like it. Yeah, right. I did the same thing. Yeah, and it makes sense because he sees his dad as this war hero, and he believes he's fighting for Germany.
Yeah, who would call him like a handsome boy.
Yeah, and like you're gonna do great today. You know, you're gonna have a great day.
Yeah, I kind of made that connection immediately.
No, I never did.
No,
not all the times I watched it.
No, yeah, I kind of made that connection immediately.
He wanted to recreate Hitler as inaccurate as possible, saying he was not worth the research. Again, we went over that. You did a poor job on that. Let me see. Hitler's stash. This is one of my favorite history facts. So, you know the Hitler mustache?
Mm-hmm.
So the Hitler mustache actually became popular in World War I because of gas masks. So because of gas masks, they had to cut their mustaches because it didn't sit on their face properly.
Yeah.
So it was very popular in the it was in 1918, 1919, and 1920s. And in the 1930s, it kind of got a little less, but that's why Charlie Chaplin has it. And then when Hitler came out, he kept the stash. He never got out of it.
Hitler stash.
It became the Hitler stash.
It was the Charlie Chaplin stash.
It was
the Hitler stash.
It was the World War I gas mask. It was the mustard
but
stash.
it was always known as the Charlie Chaplin stash.
It was, but then I guess when did Charlie Chaplin kind of like fizzle out? And
when talkies came in too, so it was the 20s and 30s.
So
pre-Hitler.
Yeah, yes. Exactly. So Hitler was just like super late with this style.
Yeah, you stick to
so
what
everybody,
you know.
so everybody was like, that's the Hitler stash from then on. It's like if somebody rose to power now and was a terrible person and had a faux hawk. It's like nobody has a faux hawk. Those were a thing before, but now you're just sticking with that. And then we're like, that's the Trump hair. I don't fucking know.
The Trump hair. Yeah, no, I love, that's like one of my favorite facts, honestly, because it always just was, it's so interesting how history works.
Yeah.
It's like we literally erased an entire generation of people that had that mustache because like they fought in mustard gas. Like they fought for the first time in chemical warfare and had to alter their facial hair to not die. Like, you know. And then comes along Hitler and ruins everything for everyone.
Called being a man, damn it.
But so those are like just some basic facts about it. I mean, like I said, I think the cinematography of it was just stunning. I think they filmed in the Czech Republic, which is pretty close to Austria and Germany and styling and stuff like that. All of those like come together European towns look very similar. I think Amsterdam looks fairly similar.
Yeah.
To them. But any thoughts, guys?
Favorite scenes. We have to touch on this later anyway, right?
Yeah, that's why I wasn't going to go into it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I mean,
just talking script. Well, hold on. Does that mean we're going like technicals kind of right now? So you're talking story and script and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So back on the topic of how Hitler was actually like versus how we portrayed him. He only like gets to the Hitler that like the public knows in that second to last scene that Hitler's in when he gets like pissed off and enraged and starts screaming. And then the one after that, it's like a step further. Like he's just fucking, his hair's crazy and he's a psycho. But I love that buildup right there. Just like, oh, you're being like funny Hitler. You're not really Hitler. And then like, oh shit, pissed off Hitler is real Hitler. And then one step further is like off the deep end.
Yeah, the last scene where he comes in.
He kind of progressively gets worse the more Jojo becomes tolerant.
The more Jojo finds himself and doesn't have to latch on to this idea of who he wants to be
which is something that's very, if you think about it, that type of mindset of the Nazi regime. Like, if you're not one of us, you're against us type mindset, which, you know, I thought that was very interesting choice that they did with that progression of, like, you know, every time Hitler specifically is dealing with Elsa, it's like, you know, that Jewish girl and this and that. And he's constantly trying to...
There could be hundreds of them in your walls.
Yeah. and for Christ's sakes, man, stop giving her knives.
Jojo, what are you going to cut stuff with?
But I think it's like this interesting thing where it was also very much the propaganda of the time where, oh, this is our enemy, you know, these people are different than you and I. And it's something that we see him doing in his speeches to Jojo of like just trying to be like, no, this is how we are. Like, don't let her screw with your German mind and stuff like that.
Protect your German brain.
Yeah.
That's what's protect.
Don't let her put you in a brain prison.
Yeah, that. And it was like, it's kind of messed up because that was like not the language they were using, but that was the ideology that they were spreading at that time. And to see it in this type of comedic way, It's so interesting.
The
It's
way
just
they played it in the film was kind of Mean Girls-y.
yes.
It was like, oh, you're talking to that one again?
which is great, which is amazing.
There could be more of them. You know that, right?
Like I really think it was just so smart. I know I keep saying that, but it's such a freaking smart movie.
Yeah, and there's like character development for everyone in the film too. I mean, Captain K has a huge fucking turnaround. That guy's awesome.
Oh my god, that last scene with him.
Yeah, incredible.
So amazing. Like
with his outfit with the feather.
that too. Oh, that whole scene. With Alfie behind him.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, and I love that there's only one hint of them being like together.
No, there's hints throughout the entire film.
Yeah, but there's like one solid look that they give each other and like kind of whisper something and then see someone coming in like, yes.
It's when
and walk
when
away.
he's feeding him cake.
Oh, I
That's-
don't remember that. When was that?
There's like a scene where like one of them doesn't have their shirt on. They're like their shirt's down and they're like bent over and he's like feeding him cake. And all of a sudden one walks in, they walk in, and they're like, yeah, that's
No,
there's
there's an even more subtle one that I'm talking about where they're fully clothed than just in a hallway, but that's fucking great.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's
I didn't even
scenes
think about
throughout
that.
the entire thing. It's
Yeah.
great. Even when they're sitting next to each other, and Alfie's like, when they're in the pool house and they're
Yeah.
talking, and she's like, "How do you know if someone's a Jew?" And it's like that whole conversation.
He like rolls his eyes. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
Or he's like, "What do you
What do you
do?"
do?
Yeah.
He's like, why? Have you found one? He
Yeah.
rolls his eyes. He's like, all right, this again. Here we go.
Come to me. We
He's
tell
like,
the Gestapo. Gestapo.
We tell the SS. The
Yeah.
SS tells the Gestapo, and the Gestapo will come, find and kill the Jew, and anyone who helped the Jew, and maybe a few more people just cuss. It's messy. Why? Have you found one? Well, and then he goes, well, I'm not sure if I know how to tell the difference.
And then Rebel Slur slides in, she
Yeah.
like scoots in,
Yeah.
and the way Alfie sits, he's all of a sudden she's talking, he just turns and he's like this
Yeah.
like thinking man pose. It's just there's so many great scenes between like little, not even little side characters because they're not little, but these side characters. And I have to say, like Rosie is one of my favorite characters, Scarlett Johansson. I think she's just beautiful in this role as a mother who is struggling with the loss of a daughter, with not having her husband around, probably doesn't really know what's even going on with him, because if he's in hiding due to anything that they were doing, like she probably has no contact with him at this time, you know?
Yeah.
And to be doing that and then hiding, a young girl in her house and a son who's a Nazi fanatic, like I think she just encapsulates that role so well and just performs it with such grace.
Yeah.
You know, it was really
Grace is the key
amazing.
word to that role.
Yeah, it really was just amazing to watch her in it.
Mhm.
On the dad thing, I take it as he's dead. Like the end of the movie, Jojo is an orphan. That's the way I perceive the film.
I
And
perceived
even
it
if
like
the dad's
that
not
too.
dead, they're never gonna find each other again.
I don't think they're
yeah.
gonna find each other.
Jojo's orphaned at the end of the movie.
I subscribe to number 2 that he still could be out there, but he might as well be dead.
To Jojo, he's dead.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, I think, how
And
Rosie
us.
accepted it too, where, you know, as far as she knew, he was gone. Honestly, what I really do believe is I think he was probably in America.
Well, the fear of dying and the hope of finding him one day would. That sounds pretty rattling. It sounds easier to just accept his death and then carry on with trying
Well,
to make the world a better place.
Isn't the whole story that he's a soldier and that they assumed he was a deserter?
Yeah.
That's the whole deal, right? So here's my thing. If he was a deserter, chances are the Germans found him and killed him, because you wouldn't welcome a deserter.
No.
Nazi Germany would not welcome back. They
Oh,
just
no.
shoot him. They'd maybe throw a grenade, tie him down, and throw a few grenades at him. Like,
Yeah, but
No,
I feel
they
like
just shoot you-
would've
shoot you as
pulled-
soon as they see you.
They would have. I don't think they would have lied to the family about that.
and
I think they would have either killed the family or just been like, "Yeah, he's dead. He was a traitor."
No, honestly, you know what I really think it probably was, or like, and here's the thing, we're speculating, who knows what it was, but I don't necessarily think he was a soldier. I think he was like Rosie. I think he was some
Oh.
type of underground
No, yeah,
spy work.
I think we all know that. I think that's like,
Yeah, but that's what I'm
Right.
saying. Like, I think she said to Jojo, "Oh, he's fighting in the war," but I don't think he ever was. I think you've seen Sound of Music,
no,
right?
because
No,
when,
they think-
no,
they
but
call him a deserter.
they know that he's in a soldier in the
Oh, that's
army.
right. They do say that. The
It's
kids say
stated.
that, don't they?
Say it in the beginning,
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
first scene. His battalion hasn't heard from him in months.
Yeah, that's right.
The guy you said looks like Randall. From
Yes.
Monsters,
Oh
Inc.
my God. Can we talk about that? The kid who
The kid who breaks the rabbit's neck.
he literally looks like
He
Randall
looks
from
like
Monsters
Randall
Inc.
from Monsters Inc.
Yeah, kind of.
He if Randall from Monsters Inc. was a living, breathing person, it would be
It
that
would be
child.
that kid.
Oh man.
He was unfortunate looking man. I mean, listen, he has a career as a heel for the rest of his life. He's
yeah.
perfect for
He's
it.
just got that natural look where he's looking
Sinister.
through his eyebrows.
Yeah.
Without trying.
Like
It's a
honestly,
little sneaky.
It's like a little
chirpy.
Franco-ish, but British.
you know what I think of him?
And
Like
with a narrower chin.
Yeah, kind of weasel
Yeah.
man.
he looks like a weasel.
It is
he
very
literally is a
weasel-y.
weasel. Honestly, like it's funny because I wrote a character once and I described this weaselly looking person. I didn't think that a person could physically look like that until I saw him, and I was like, that's
Yeah.
unfortunately crazy. But I'm sure he's probably a great man. Like I'm sure he's probably a really nice guy.
Yeah, we don't know
Yeah,
the guy.
or he's still
I'm giving
weaselly just
him
out
the
there,
benefit of the
like
I'm
doubt.
just assuming he's
Like
a little
a-
slippery in his
Well,
personal
you could be
life.
slippery
like a
and
prairie
nice.
dog with a heavy frontal lobe just looking at you.
Yeah.
A prairie
He's
dog.
always he's just naturally sinister. Like, you know how the Rock's just always smoldering?
Yeah.
This kid's just always looks like he's up to something.
Yeah, like he's rubbing his hands together.
He's always like he's thinking, like plotting, not really thinking so much as plotting. It's the look this kid delivers.
Yeah, I mean, but he probably is. Like, if you have that look on your face, you're definitely thinking something.
Yeah.
You can't not
But
be
to
thinking.
be always
No,
in a
I think
state
that's
of
his resting
plotting.
face.
To just always be in a state of plotting is so taxing.
It is. It is. I know for a fact.
all of
I do it every day. You know.
Alright.
So, I mean,
That's the way
anyway,
to live life.
That's it.
I-
We're building an empire here, Gage. Either get on or get off.
That's very Hitler of you.
Wow. All right. Anyway, moving
Vegetarian ass.
on.
like I was saying, it's well written. It's paced well. It's good. It's the right amount of time. It's not too short. It's just so in terms of the script, I like the way it's written. It's hysterical. There's not many lulls. You're pretty much laughing from start to finish. I mean, that's really all I have to say on it. As far other than the fact that it's one-liner after one-liner, and even when people aren't cutting jokes, some Alfie Allen, or what's his name?
Alfie Allen.
Alfie Allen just raises an eyebrow in the back left of the screen. or you see Rebel she's like so far in the background you barely see her, but you look, her head turns up like in the back.
Yeah.
You just see little things. So even when they're not speaking, everyone is stealing the show from each other in this movie.
Do you know the story about Taika directing on set?
As dressed as Hitler?
Yeah.
Oh, incredible.
And how he was yelling at Scarlett from across the canal. It was like they were looking one way. They were looking at, like, the camera shot was on the short side of the canal. So they had to stand on the far side to be out of the shot. And he needed to give her some direction. So he just starts screaming at her dressed as Hitler all the way on the other side. And from his own mouth, he's like, I can't believe I just yelled at Scarlett like that.
I would honestly just love that. I would die. I would be cracking up if I was on set just seeing Taika directing as Hitler. Because you think about it too, like thinking about like anyone directing, we tend to get these weird stances about ourselves. Like,
Yeah.
And imagine like just being in a Hitler and he's probably talking
just
like
like-
that. Yeah, like
One of these.
yeah. Like,
Not even knowing how you're looking.
yeah, like your hands like here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like also like
Yeah. Or trying to give someone a quick answer. Like, how do you like this shot? Should we put the key here or here? And you're just like, hold
yes.
on. Definitely. Far side. Yeah, far side.
Yeah, like yes. Yes, we're gonna do that. Like,
No, don't do that.
No, that was a horrible decision. I can't believe you even brought that decision to me.
You know what, bud? Go home.
Yeah.
Go home. We'll see you tomorrow.
Pack your shit up.
Just go home. We'll see you tomorrow. Think about it.
Imagine being like on set and Hitler sends you home for the day. Would you? How
He
would you
seems like a
feel?
nice enough guy that he probably wouldn't send anybody home. He'd have the AD do it.
Oh, I'm sending people home. I'm sending you home left
That's
and right.
not my job category.
Nah.
I don't think there's many directors who would bother sending people home on their own. You'd have to be like, Quentin if somebody's phone rang. Nolan if you saw somebody sitting. Werner Herzog. That all.
I would send people home just because I want to put the fear of God in you. If you see the director walking up to you with not a good face on, don't you think that you're gonna like change your behavior the next day?
Are you one of those like fear is stronger than love type of people?
Yes.
Okay.
I grew up on fear.
Fear
I
of
was
God.
born.
I'm always plotting.
I was born in the darkness, molded by it.
We're really, really finding some things out about Emily's
Yeah.
childhood.
Yeah, this
on
is sick.
today's episode.
That's why she wears big shoes. It's like
I
you'll step on me, I step on you.
wear big shoes to carry my big ego. No, it all makes sense of why I've always liked World War II, I guess. No, no. Honestly, I had a great childhood. It wasn't bad, and I had 2 older brothers that made fun of me a lot, and I guess I was bullied. So I mean, that's where all the darkness comes from. But who knows? We're here.
We're all bullied.
Bullying brings out the
I feel
greatness
you.
in people. Let's keep
Yeah.
it moving
Or
here.
makes them up.
So let's take a quick break, and then I guess we'll come back for awards. Unless you have anything to say, Gage. You look like you had a thought.
Yeah. Set design for 14 million.
It said 14 million estimated, so I mean, I don't know how.
I mean, that's pretty good. The wardrobe, the
Yeah.
whole art direction, the production design. So, what I was bringing up before, Jojo has a different hat than everyone else at the camp.
Oh, does he?
Like, even than Yorkie. Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah. Like, his is like kind of dinky and shitty, and everybody else is like prestiged.
Yeah, I did not notice that.
Oh, I forgot you can't move.
No, I can't.
Is that to show that he doesn't belong?
Yeah, that's 100%
Yeah.
show he doesn't belong.
He's just different.
Yeah.
Even Yorkie has the.
His
same hat as
looks like
everyone else.
his looks like the Cub Scout version. of
Yeah,
them. Like they're all
exactly.
Boy Scouts and he's a Cub Scout still.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think too, it also like a big scene is when he sees Yorkie again for like
At the end.
at the end during the war, and fucking Yorkie drops the grenade launcher and it shoots. That's probably one of the great scenes too.
Yeah.
I love that. But there's this innocent to Yorkie that never leaves him, which I think is so great, and it mirrors JoJo in a little bit of a different way because it's in a way it's almost like 2 friends who grew up together who walked down the same path, but like ended up in different places, you know, and like, but one never lost that childhood innocence and kind of went down this like regime path that everyone else was going down. This other one who in a way grows up. Like it's not, you know, not that he loses his innocence, but I mean, he does. He does in a way because at that point, Scarlett Johansson is dead, which is another beautiful scene when he finds that out with the butterfly.
Yeah.
Oh my
The
gosh.
shoes.
And then he ties her shoe.
He ties to and he can't and he just hugs her feet. I cry every time I see that scene. It's so emotional.
Yeah.
And the mirroring scene earlier when he walks up to her and she's like, he goes, what they do. And she goes, what they could.
Yeah.
And I think that is just so telling to her character and so telling to a lot of people during that time who were against what was happening, but were just doing what they could. You
Yeah.
know, like maybe it was just giving food to someone you knew was struggling, or it was just not saying anything about your neighbor who you knew was hiding someone. Like,
Yeah.
and it was even not saying anything could end you in a, you know, concentration camp. I mean, I remember, obviously it wasn't very talked about because it's a hard time, but my grandmother grew up in Nancy, France, which is right on the border of Germany and France. And they were one of the first towns occupied when the Germans came in. And she said she remembers her neighbors just one day not being there. Like a lot of, like she would just wake up one day and, you know, those neighbors across the street were gone. And then another day, the neighbors down the block were gone. And it was stuff like that. And the Nazi, like German soldiers were living in those houses and stuff like that. And she was a young girl. She's probably like 6 or 7 at the time. Which I, you know, that's pretty much the minimal information I know about her and during that time. But it sticks with them, you know, it never leaves you. So it's.
Can you imagine just like thinking being in like the first place in France where you're like, oh, that bullshit's happening over there. We're fucking good. I'm gonna keep eating cheese, drinking wine.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And the big thing too about the French was when they went to go try to fight the Germans at the border, they never increased their warfare from World War I. They were still fighting on horseback and stuff like that with, you know, pump action guns.
World War I was on horseback? I had no idea.
Well, yeah. Yeah, part of it was. It was World War One was that weird time where we were getting some
Some
technology.
people had cars, but most
Well,
didn't, or were
no,
driving around.
no, it was because they didn't really have tanks. So how are you going to cross a battlefield? You're going to cross in a car. You know what I'm saying? You have to
Yeah.
figure out how you're going to fight
The
the enemy.
Humvee
Yeah.
wasn't there for World War One.
No, you know, like those type
With
of
the
those.
50
Yeah.
cal, with the 50 cal mounted on top.
Yeah.
we weren't. America wasn't fucking with it like that back then.
Yeah.
We
No,
were
I-
kinda doing like the rifle with the bayonet.
Yeah, like
and
we
you're
were.
fucking going for it.
Yeah, we were
Like-
still pretty. The big technology of World War One was mustard gas and chemical warfare.
Yes.
That was the big deal, and the guns weren't as strong. And France, they just never increased their technology from World War One because they really believed there would never be another war.
Because like the Tommy gun was World War Two, so pre World War Two we didn't really have like rifle machine guns. Like
Yeah.
your guns were
Yeah.
like mounted guns on wheels that like multiple men needed to fucking operate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So up until that point, as far as what weaponry, you know,
and France was
Yeah,
never known
rifle.
for
we're
war
gonna kill more
either.
people with our hands than we are with these fucking shitty rifles we're shooting.
Yeah.
right?
Back when
Yeah.
they were men.
Yeah, and France was never really like one for the battle either. But what happened was they realized that there was no chance of winning, and the Germans were going to bomb them like they were bombing the UK. And they made a decision in government to turn around and say, we have to either sacrifice our monuments and our history and everything we pride ourselves on, or protect our people. And they chose to protect the monuments because France would rally behind, and they were strong enough to, you know, fight this from the inside. And that was what happened with the French Resistance and how the spying of France started and all the underground workings of France. So it's you know, super interesting time period all around for all countries involved. UK, Russia was really interesting at that time too. You know, super interesting. But let's take a quick break and then we'll go to awards.
Hey, buddy.
How's it going?
You remember the good old days growing up, being a kid, going to middle school, not having a job?
Mm-hmm.
You had some stuff you had to do, right?
Yeah.
A little bit of chores. Some parents might call them
I hate it.
helping out around the house. You know,
Yeah.
this and that. What you have any you didn't like doing the most? What was your least favorite chore?
My
Your daddy made you do growing up.
least favorite chore, out of doubt, scrubbing the kitchen floor with a toothbrush. I hated that.
Scrubbing the kitchen floor with the toothbrush, dude.
Yeah.
Your dad made you do that?
Yeah, it was fucking brutal.
What the fuck, bro? I'm talking about mowing the lawn, man.
Ah, I did that too.
Yeah, man, mowing the lawn, it's no fun. And guess what? If you live in Suffolk County, it doesn't have to be a problem anymore.
Why?
Because we could have Next Level Landscaping come take care of it for you. Next Level Landscaping, they specialize in weekly lawn maintenance, as well as fall and spring cleanups, thatching, mulch, seeding, and topsoil. If you live in the Eastern Suffolk County area, you give them a call at 631-739-1121. You speak to Michelle or Tim, and you let them know Hawk sent you. Again, that's Next Level Landscaping, 631-739-1121. Come get your grass cut by some professionals. Don't let Aunt do it with a toothbrush. All right, and we're back, and we're going to take a look at the awards. First, that the actual awards the movie may or may not have been up for, and then our podcast awards.
Okay, so they won Best Adapted Screenplay, nominated for Best Picture, Best Supporting Actress was Scarlett Johansson, Best Production Design, Best Costume, Best Film Editing, and that was all Oscars.
Whoa.
I didn't even.
I had no idea.
All nominations.
All nominations.
Except
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's right. They
They
were
won.
Best Picture because he was sitting at a table in like
Yeah.
the round interview with all the other directors from that year. And he was like, I don't know why I'm sitting next to like
Yeah, and
Tarantino, Scorsese.
and that was, I felt like I remember that year being like, really, Jojo Rabbit's in with this
Yeah.
group, and now that because I didn't watch it with
What else?
that.
1917 was that year.
Yeah,
his-
that was 2019. I forget off the top of my head.
Sam Mendes?
I'll look it up.
No,
Was
that's a singer.
The Irishman in that year?
The Irishman was.
The
yeah.
Irishman. It
It was
was.
The Irishman. It was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, 1917.
Yep. This.
And Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah.
And I feel like there was one.
Why do I feel like Parasite was that year too?
Parasite. That's
Parasite
it.
was
yeah,
what won.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Parasite won.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, because I'm not huge onto foreign films. I was like, really? Parasite?
Fucking.
I know you love it. I
Oh,
know. I still
have you
haven't
not
watched
seen
it.
it?
No.
Oh.
He doesn't like horror, first off, and I'm not huge into foreign films.
It's not a horror.
I thought-
And it's an easy to follow foreign film.
I thought, or was it suspense? technically?
It is suspense.
Okay,
It's all
suspense.
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 Well, it's not horror
Well, suspense is a subcategory of horror.
or thriller.
So,
Again,
Best
subcategory.
Picture was Ford versus Parasite won, obviously.
Yeah.
Ford versus Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Fucking bangers. That
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big
So
year.
Joaquin took Best Actor. Renee Zellweger took Best Actress. Brad Pitt, Best Supporting Actor. Laura Dern in Marriage Story was Best Supporting Actress. Original Screenplay, Parasite. Adapted was Jojo. And those are the only ones that really we care about right now.
Yeah, so they were up for a lot, which honestly they deserved it. He really deserved every award that film could have gotten because it holds up. And I think it's one of those films too that you could watch in 10, 20 years and still feel the same way about it. Like I don't really think it's ever going to lose that feeling because it's a very sweet story at the end of, like at the core of the movie.
Yeah.
It's just a nice story.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess we'll go into our awards.
All right, we'll knock out Best Actor right away. It's obviously gonna be Taika, but
That was pretty absolute.
I think Rebel. Well, you'll have the floor to disagree. I think Rebel is just throwing 100 miles an hour the entire fucking film, and then I think Captain K is the
Sam
only other.
Rockwell.
So they're the only three I think that have an argument, but I think it's Taika.
I get chills when watching ScarJo in this movie.
See, that's what I was gonna say.
Like she actually makes me
ScarJo.
feel
ScarJo's a
things.
finalist
Yeah.
too.
ScarJo's amazing. in this movie.
Yeah.
I do put Taika as the best just because of his incredible performance. Like that's like it's very difficult to play Hitler because who wants to actually play Hitler?
Yeah.
And I think to do it in the way he did it and look like the guy.
Yeah.
He looks like him. It's the first when he drops down into the screen in that first minute. My jaw dropped. I was like, no
Yeah.
way! Like get out of here. The
And-
blue contacts and everything.
Yeah.
Like the one scene where he walks in and he's laying down in Jojo's bed under the blankets.
Yeah.
Jojo's like, get up, I'm going to sleep. He's like, oh, of course, I was just keeping it warm for you. And like when he leaves the room one time and he just turns around and jumps out the window.
Yeah.
And just like the whole how me, that whole how no, that's not a how. That's like a 3-5 minute thing of him just no, that's not how you howl. He's like, come louder.
Yeah.
That whole thing is great. And then when he keeps off the cigarette, no, okay. Cigarette?
It's like, I don't know. I'm
love-
stressed.
He's like, stop offering me damn cigarettes. I'm 10. He's like, sorry, I'm stressed.
I love when a writer or director could have a character leave the screen without walking off either direction.
Yeah.
Like him just jumping out the window and it's like, oh, he was there, now he's not. Fucking awesome. They did that in Wet Hot American Summer. 2 characters are on a dock talking and then a girl's walking up and the one friend's like, oh, I'll let you have this one, and just gets up and steps off the dock into the water.
I remember that. Yeah. I was dying at that scene.
Wet Hot American Summer is a masterpiece.
It's fucking
We should probably do
amazing.
that one at one point.
Yeah, throw it on the list.
Yeah, he's the other great scene too I love is when I think it's the same scene as when he's like in Jojo's bed and he's like, how are my pants? Do you think they should be bigger?
Yeah.
And I love that.
Again,
Girl.
just making fun of the times. Awesome.
I mean, who
like
doesn't?
fucking weirdo wearing big pants.
That's a Hugo Boss uniform there.
I mean, weird times, dude. Weird fashion. I don't like the pants.
Not here for the parachute pants.
No. I mean, I like them when it's like the old timey movie directors wearing them because it's just silly. But people who take themselves too seriously, I guess those old timey movie directors do. They're like, I'm making cinema.
I'm making
This is my picture.
making cinema. With the hat and the freaking bugle thing.
Yeah.
That says director on it.
Yeah. Cut. This doesn't make me any louder.
Terrible. Terrible shot. Let's do it again.
I think if Rebel had more screen time, she'd be more of a serious contender. I think ScarJo is amazing,
Yeah.
but she's like the bit of seriousness in the comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I'll take the comedy. And like the first time you see this movie, the shock factor of
Mhm.
Taika as Hitler, like you said it before, you 3.5 minutes into the movie and you're like, oh, this is what we're in for.
Yeah.
You're not even 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
In.
Yeah.
I think it's even faster than that.
She also can't really have much
She's the
comedy
balance.
in it.
She's
She-
the
yeah, she's
sorbet
the, like-
that cleans the palate.
Yeah,
and
she's like
teaches you
the-
the other side of the coin.
Well, that and more so the other side of the coin. Like everyone's having a great fucking time, and she's just here like, all right, haha, like people are dying.
Yeah. And I think she also grounds you in the film.
Yeah.
Every time, you almost are in this dystopia that Jojo lives in with the colors and this and that. And then every time Rosie's on screen, especially with Elsa, she really
It's dark.
she just grounds you into the reality of the world they're living in.
Mhm.
And it completely brings you back to reality that this was a very difficult time for everyone.
Yeah.
You know,
And at the same time, she's trying to protect Jojo
Yeah.
from the harsh reality of what it really is because he's fucking 10.
yeah.
So she'd rather just let him. She's using the HJA as a babysitter to a point,
Yeah,
first and
100%.
foremost. But also, she's willing to just let him because it's not going to matter in 20 or 30 years the way she sees it because she sees an end to the war and the regime losing. Because the start, like we said, the start of this movie's got to be 44. Like,
Around
because
there.
the whole movie takes place over the course of maybe a week.
No, it's a lot longer than that.
Really?
Yes. He gets blown up. He's in the
Well,
hospital for months.
From after that.
Oh, from after that?
That's the start of the movie.
No, I would say it's probably a couple
Nah,
months.
wait, you said
a
how
month
long?
or two.
Like a week.
I don't think that kid's entire mindset about Jews would change like that over.
No, I think it's a couple months. I would say it's at least a couple months.
Maybe a month.
He might reference it when he talks about how long he's been working on his book too. It might. I mean, granted, it's a kid. He could be working on a book for 2 days and think it's been fucking forever. So
I'm trying to think if there's any real inclination in clothing and weather. I don't think there is. It pretty much
Or
stays
even
the
weather.
same. No, it stays the same pretty much throughout the
Yeah.
movie. It's,
Yeah.
it's
kind of like
pretty.
spring to summer.
It,
end
it
of
I would
summer
say
could
it's
be,
one
but-
it's one season. So it's like let's say it's spring to summer. It's like one. I would say it's like 3 months, maybe 3 to 4
Maybe.
months you're working.
Either
with.
way. Either way. Short period of time. So that's what I was getting at. Just that she's trying to protect him and like keep him blind to it and not understand the real stakes of anything.
No. Oh, we know.
while still maintaining Elsa upstairs and not getting caught and doing whatever else she's doing when
Yeah.
she's out. She's out. The one day when he first finds her, when Jojo first finds Elsa in the room, she doesn't come back until we can only assume very late at night because she will, oh my God, what are you still doing up? Da, 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 da. So we don't even know what her other goings on are outside of keeping the girl in the house. So until that one night when he's all pissy and she finally fucking snaps and goes and gets the ash from the fire and does the beard and fucking screams at him as the dad, but it's really her, obviously.
Mhm.
But it's just that's the moment where she like can't put on the brave face for the son anymore and has to be a little bit of tough love.
Yeah.
Also,
And
did
that
the
is a
Bronson
phenomenal
thing.
scene. What?
The Bronson thing when you're playing like two actors. I mean, it's done in other shit too. Much older of a technique, but have you ever seen Bronson?
Yes. Excellent movie.
Yeah, when he's
Love it.
doing the I'm the
Mhm.
woman, I'm the man thing.
Oh
Yeah.
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 She does that and it's fucking dope. I love those. And done well. Great conversation about her mental headspace, where she thinks she should be, how much she misses her husband,
Mhm.
wishes he was there to help her take care of this child and make Nazi Germany not a thing anymore.
Yeah, I think it's also implied that she's working on the underground. That she's
Well, yeah, because you see her, she's
Well, she hands out the
dropping
pamphlets.
the paperwork and stuff.
yeah, but you also
Exactly.
see her go. You see him follow her, and she goes into like a obscure building, and I
Yeah.
felt like they were implying that she's working with.
Yeah.
the
No, they
spy ring stuff.
definitely are. Because
Yeah.
even then, when he's in the cardboard box doing the metal for Hitler,
That's what I'm talking about.
Which
Yeah, that's
she puts the piece of paper down that says "Free Germany,"
Oh, that's right. It
Yeah,
does say
yeah.
Free Germany.
and
yeah, yeah.
and that's not the only time. It's the
No.
same piece of paper she comes in and throws in the fire when she gets home. Same thing.
Oh yeah.
She
yeah.
comes in and throws it in the fire.
Yeah,
They're-
she's just a great character throughout.
Yep.
Honestly.
It's a lot of subtleties. You don't really pick up on it as well unless you're really paying attention.
Yeah.
the first and second time you watch it.
I feel like it's right in your face. They're all done in close-ups. It's like, pay attention to this.
It depends on how you watch the movie.
When
though.
Jojo catches her, but when she throws the thing in the fire, it's a little bit more subtle.
Yeah, then she's just throwing something.
But when Jojo catches her, that's when it's meant to be made obvious.
Yeah.
You know.
And also too, like,
Make a pick.
how would she know?
I'm
this
locking in
girl?
Taika.
Make a pick.
She was friends with the daughter when they were younger.
Yeah, but isn't the story she originally had left, like she was leaving with her parents, and then she ran away from them because she didn't want to leave, and she had been shipped around from house to house.
Yeah, she bounced around a lot.
Yeah, so I don't necessarily think that like that was what they said, but I don't necessarily think that Rosie knew any of her family. I
don't think she knew the family at all.
right now, but that's what I said. Like you were saying, never mind, doesn't matter. But I think it's just interesting, the whole entire thing. I think Taika is my lock-in though.
Yeah, Taika.
Jojo.
The kids are great. Jojo's great, and Yorkie
You're
is
picking
fucking
Jojo
great.
for best actor?
I'm picking Jojo. Imagine
Okay.
telling a fucking kid, like, you have to. I believed he was a Nazi fanatic. That's a child. Dude, he made me believe he wanted to be a fucking Nazi. Like,
He's pretty great. He's like, God damn it, woman, my face looks like a street map.
Yo, that's such a great line.
yeah, you're talking to fucking Scarlett.
Yeah.
You have to say, God damn it,
He is
woman.
a sassy little
And
fucker.
you need to be sassy. You need to try and be the power one in this scene.
And his limp is hysterical.
And you look at Taika and say, fuck you, Hitler, and kick him.
Yeah.
Like, and
You're looking at fucking Black Widow. Black Widow, and you're telling her, God damn it, woman. Like, you're.
my face looks like
Yeah, you yell at her, like, I think you're done eating now. If you're done eating, I'll just take your food, huh?
feeling
Bitch.
extra hungry tonight. He slams
Yeah.
the bread in the bowl.
Like, every scene, he thinks he's smarter than other people in the room.
Which is such a child thing.
It is, but, like, not if you're not like that in real life. Like, if you're actually like a really sweet listening kid respecting adults, and then all of a sudden you got to pull out this state of like power and convince me that you want to be a Nazi.
Right, but so at this point, he is brainwashed. He's been brainwashed by the Hitler Youth groups
Yes.
to only love Nazis.
Yes.
You know, so like, of course he's gonna. I don't think that's any. I think the whole. Nazi
You don't think that makes it for a good actor to enter?
Oh
that line
no,
state?
that's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm speaking on the character.
Oh, I'm speaking on the actor. I thought we were doing best actor.
No, we are.
Okay.
We are doing best actor. No, I don't disagree with you. I think JoJo's great in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the titular character here. The camera is almost always on him.
Yes.
He does do a lot of great stuff. I mean, you know, it's very hard to do what Taika did.
Yeah.
And I think the directing goes
He's
into
very funny.
The directing goes into it, even though it shouldn't. It's kind of like the NFL MVP award where playoff games matter, even though they're not supposed to. Like the fact that he directed it and did this role means something to me.
Yeah.
That gives him the edge.
I agree. I think it does add something because it shows his talent and it shows his level of ability. Because if you can, he's a big part of this movie. He's in it a lot. So to be able to step away, step out of the director's chair and step in front of the camera while still being in the director's chair, it's one of the hardest things to do. Like, I don't know if you've ever directed and acted.
I don't act.
Okay.
I don't do it.
I've done it. It's very difficult.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah. And you have to really, really rely on your DP and your AD.
Yeah.
You have to. Like,
And
if
somebody didn't tell Clint Eastwood to stop doing that. Someone didn't tell him.
No.
No, and it's like
Gran Torino, we could talk about that. Heaping pile of trash.
I don't think I've ever seen Gran Torino.
Not a huge Gran Torino fan, honestly. Not huge. For
Get
me.
off my lawn,
It's
you
kind of
gooks.
like consistently directing and starring in a movie is kind of like the drummer in the band that's also the lead singer.
Yeah, it's just like there's too much
it's
noise.
just eventually not gonna work, dude. You're not gonna be able to drum and sing. It's just it never works out.
You know, and in all honesty, too, it's very difficult to direct and to act. Like they're both two separate things that are hard to do in their own way. And to split yourself and be able to turn off one mindset to turn on another mindset, it's just
100%.
crazy. It's a little, you have to be a little schizo
So
to
I
do
think
it well.
I think he has an improv background.
He does.
Okay. So if you have an improv background, it's kind of like easy to just jump into a character and do that character thing. And he is such a niche style of comedy.
Yeah.
He just lives that. That's just where he fucking chills all the time. Like even in interviews and shit. He's just
always locked
yeah.
in.
And Thor Ragnarok, he like
Is he in Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah, he plays the big rock dude. I forget his name. Hey, bro, we're gonna get on a ship. You want to come?
The dude who's playing Xbox in Endgame. That same character.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. That character. Yeah.
Okay.
And he also directs Ragnarok.
I don't know why.
Yes.
Yeah, I know he directs
Yeah,
Ragnarok.
yeah.
I didn't know he was in it though. I
Yeah.
didn't realize
So
that was
every
him.
line that big rock dude drops is like, you just said that in such a funny way. It's like he just fucking lives in such a great humor that yeah, I think he did a great job as Hitler, and I wouldn't want anybody else to play Hitler probably till the end of time, even if it's a serious movie.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
RDJ is Tony Stark. Taika is Hitler.
Yeah.
Those two characters are off the fucking market.
Yeah, retire the jersey.
Yeah, literally.
Retired Adolf Stash, dude.
He'll be like 80.
Put it in the Hall of
And-
Fame. It's over with.
Yeah, but he'll be like 80 and do it. But I also think too, because he wrote this, so I do think a part of it, if
He went for the triple play.
He did.
yeah,
Triple play.
That's it. It's
And,
Taika. Move on.
and honestly too, though, I feel like if you are a writer and an actor, and especially if you are a director too, it actually benefits you. But you know how to write a role for yourself.
Yeah.
Like I almost never would act in someone else's things because it's like I don't really list myself as an actor. It's not something like I really want to do. I enjoy it, but it's not like my trade. And there's professional actors who are 10 times better than me that would nail that role 1,000 times better, and that's kind of my feeling about it. So if I am acting, it tends to be in something that either like someone very close to me who knows me wrote for me, or I wrote for myself, because it's like
I call that the Seth Rogen effect.
yeah.
Like Seth Rogen would not. He's not an actor. He would not be an actor if he wasn't a writer who wrote stuff for that only he could play.
He was in Donnie Darko.
No, I know that. I know that he's actually an actor, but I'm saying like look at all of his major roles. Like if he wasn't the writer that he was,
Or Judd.
would he be or Judd? But forget
But
if we
Judd's like my
start
Vinny.
playing that game, then
But Judd's like my Vinny. It's like
he
me
met
acting
Judd
something
when he
Vinny
was
wrote.
17.
Was later. Yeah,
No,
but he started
he-
working with.
No, he started
No,
working
Freaks
with
and
Judd
Geeks.
on
Freaks
it
and
was
Geeks.
no
Was it earlier than that?
Undeclared. I think was before Freaks
Oh,
and Geeks.
you're
That
right.
ran for one season. It was him,
Yes.
Jay Baruchel, and I don't think maybe
No.
Franco wasn't on it, but I
No.
think
Seagal.
Jason Segel was
Segel.
on it too.
Yes.
That went for one season and that got canceled. And I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive that was before Freaks and Geeks.
I think you're right.
Because that's how Rogan got on Freaks and Geeks, because he had already known him from Undeclared.
And wasn't one of them the ones that brought Franco in to Judd Apatow? Wasn't it Rogan who brought Franco in to Judd Apatow?
I don't remember.
I feel like it was one of them brought Franco in for Freaks and Geeks. So it was like, oh no, I know someone who would be good for this role.
But in terms of the superstardom that Rogan has, the Superbad, he wrote that when he was 16. Who else was playing? Superbad, he didn't star
Evan
in,
Goldberg.
but him and Evan Goldberg wrote
Yeah.
it when they were in high school.
Oh,
That's why the
impressive.
main characters' names are Seth and Evan.
Oh, no shit. All right.
Learn something new every day.
So moving on, what do we got next? Heat check, best scene. What do you want to do?
Let's do the heat check.
Heat check?
Or what do you want to do? I don't care.
No, we'll do heat check. I think there's one man and one man only who deserves this award, and part of the problem is that there's not a lot of guys who really qualify for it that deserve it. So it's Stephen Merchant as the head of the Gestapo.
I was
With
gonna
that-
go Alfie. I thought Alfie would get a heat check.
I think Alfie's in
I think
it
he's
too
in it
much.
too much. He's in every scene.
He doesn't
Patrick K's in.
speak a lot, but he's in it a
well,
lot.
that was the thing. I was going for the doesn't speak a lot.
Yeah. When you look at Steve Merchant, he's only in it for about 7 minutes.
He's only that one scene.
that one part. They come in to Heil Hitler, Heil Hitler,
Yeah.
Heil Hitler, Heil Hitler. Oh, I was Heil Hitlering the boy, and
Yeah,
then we were
Heil
Heil
Hitler.
Hitlering you, and
Then we Heil
now we're
Hitlered each
Heil
other.
Hitlering- and now we're here.
Oh, this is a little Nazi boy's
Yeah,
bedroom.
he's like, That's when they find the book and they're like, "Oh my God, look, this one's hanging upside down like a bat. Look at that. Who wrote this, please? This is delightful." And that's when he does we think a communist is hiding behind our fridge. It's just mold, basically the same thing, but the job is the job.
The other great line too is when he's standing there, he's like, "I know you've heard a rumor that Hitler only has one ball. This is false. He has 4.
No, doesn't he say this is completely ridiculous?
No, he's like, this is completely inaccurate. He has 4. It's just a great line. I agree. I think he
just
wins
monotonous. Yeah, that word. Struggling of the whole part where they do the Heil Hitler like 15 times.
And then to
Amazing,
Elsa too.
Yeah.
Dude, absolutely amazing. And then the girl walks in and it's like a little weird, like when they Heil Hitler her.
Yeah.
And
kind
you
of
see she doesn't
she
want
looks
to
at
do
him
it.
like, you might as well have just lashed me
Yeah.
a couple of times.
Yeah.
And then dishes out like 12 Heil Hitlers.
And then Jojo does it. He's like, Heil Hitler.
Oh, yeah, because it was like, this is just a thing that they're doing. And then once they say it the first time to her, it's like, oh, fuck, now she's got to like just go with it.
And you see her mind playing.
Yeah.
And she's fantastic too because she is, to me, she's almost like a calculating actress where every move she makes, every line she says, you see that character playing in her
Working
head.
it.
You see her eye, you see it within her eyes, this fear and hurt, but she really it was an amazing character too, Elsa.
But she also pretty much from the word go understands that Jojo isn't a Nazi.
Yes.
She pretty much from the very beginning of the movie understands that he's not a Nazi and that he's not actually going to hurt her.
Well, don't we see Rosie and her have a heart-to-heart before that, so you can assume that Rosie
No, not
has
before
told
that.
her. Isn't it before? It was after that?
It was after. It was after
Oh.
they met a couple. Jojo and her met a couple times.
Yeah,
'Cause then
after she
Rosie's
got
like,
both of
she's
them
getting
out.
Oh,
on
that's
to you,
right,
and I'm
that's
losing all my
right.
knives.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. That's
How'd
right.
how'd she overpower you? I don't know. She must have used her, what did she say? She must have used her brain powers. It says something
All right.
ridiculous. So,
Um,
we're all in agreement, Steve Merchant.
I'm trying to think of like who
It's
else it
hard.
could
I
even be.
really don't think there's anyone else that like.
I mean,
'cause
you-
I mean,
Rebels
the
in
Weasel
it-
Kid.
The
But he's not the one.
The Weasel Kid, I think, is the only nominee in the rare movie where we don't have a Kristen Stewart award for terrible acting. I feel like he might be the only one who you might have a go at. But other than
no, I'd
him,
say it's his buddy's worst acting.
the other
than
one.
it's
One of the
Weasel
two of
Kid.
them, and other than that, it's hard because the acting in this movie is so fucking phenomenal.
I mean, I think Yorkie's in it too much, but you could argue Yorkie.
Yorkie, I think, is in it too much.
Yeah.
He's
Okay, I'm going with
amazing.
Gestapo.
Okay. Most
Favorite scene.
favorite scene.
Yeah. Polarizing does kind of work for this movie though. Like the burning of the books might be, but the way that this movie is done and but
I mean,
Here or there.
saying that
Semantics.
Jews made it with fish, that's pretty polarizing.
The
we used to live in caves.
Yeah.
either the shoes or the dinner.
The shoes at the end.
Yeah, when she's dead.
That's just an amazing scene. It's just a
Yeah.
beautiful scene.
That or the dinner. But yeah, one of the two.
So tough. The whole ending sequence where Rebels like lining them up. Here's a gun. You're a member of the Nazi army now. Go get him.
Shoot anyone who doesn't look like us.
And she's just like, Jojo, put this on so you don't get shot.
Yes,
Like-
kill anyone who doesn't look like us.
And I also love how and part of this is that the entire movie is basically told through Jojo's eyes. So it's a big world and a small person's
Yeah.
point of view. But no matter where this fucking kid winds up, these three specifically,
Yeah.
Captain K, his lover, and Rebel, are always wherever he is. They were all at the summit, the
Yeah.
weekend summit. Then all three of them got sent to do the propaganda shit. And then she's also the physical therapist working out his leg at the pool.
Mhm.
And at the same time, these two happen to be there with the rest of the HBGA boys
Yeah.
doing underwater combat in case they ever have to fight in the pool.
Yeah.
And then
Which is
he-
another great
and then-
scene of Taika swimming.
yes, phenomenal. And the kids are getting stuck,
Yeah.
like drowning. And Then they're fighting the war. The battle
Yeah.
is happening in their backyard, and Jojo's just fucking metal for Hitler, which is amazing. All of the propaganda stuff I think is great. When they first give him the posters to go put up,
Yeah.
and he's gluing the poster on the wall, every time he passes Hitler's face, the
changes.
face changes.
Yeah.
There's different emotion, and then the metal for Hitler, great. But the fact that like everywhere this kid turns, the same 3 or 4 people are always there.
Yeah.
Like, Jojo,
Yeah.
you're still here. Go
Yeah.
die for your country now. Or also
It's what you wanted, right?
right in the beginning when we get introduced to Captain K, where he goes, I was, a soldier of Germany until I lost my eye in the battle, and my superiors decided that no good soldier is made of a one-eyed man. And then he picks up the gun and starts shooting.
Can a one-eyed man do this?
Yeah. Ding, ding.
Amazing. I have to say, like, the whole sequence, honestly, from him running away after they try to make him kill the rabbit, and that whole conversation with Hitler, Yorkie coming in and being like, "Were you crying?" He's like, "What are you, the tear police?" He's like, "No, guess not." That to him running, throwing the grenade, and then your sound coming back, and you
Yeah.
have Yorkie's face come in and he just starts screaming. Then you have Hitler's face come in and he faints. And then he's in the hospital and he gets put in. Rebel Wilson looks at him and goes, "OMG, it's like a Picasso painting," which Picasso wasn't really around during that time, so that's a little inaccurate. But that was definitely an improv line.
That whole thing too, when Taika's running
Yeah,
in
he
the
was-
hospital, fucking giving him the thumbs up, and
then
then
his face is like-
he gives the thumbs up, and he sees himself covered in blood and passes out.
He's all like the face too. He's like, but
Also, one more I gotta get out is the Yorkie. I thought I was your best friend, Jojo, and she's like, "Well, that is a spot that is reserved for the Fuhrer. So unless you are Adolf Hitler living in a young fat boy's body, you should be happy with second place."
no, I guess I'm just a fat kid living in a fat kid's body.
Those are some of my favorites. I know it's
And
hard to. I think I'm settling on the opening scene with that whole thing with the grenade. The opening from the Jojo Rabbit hunting carrots, that whole deal.
Yeah, the whole sequence is incredible. I think to the ending of when he's like, "Oh, good for you, Jojo. You got yourself a girlfriend." That's phenomenal. To right after all like the explosions or whatever, and he sees Yorkie again. Yorkie's no longer in a Nazi uniform. He's now in his onesies. Like he's in his like shirt and his underwear, and they hug each other because they're both okay. And he's like, "I need to go find my mom. I need to cuddle." And he just runs off. And it's like every single scene he is in, he makes me so
Yorkie's
happy.
Yo, Yorkie has a character arc. Holy shit.
Yeah,
He's
Yorkie-
so
"Oh, no, right.
joyful.
I'm a child. I'm just going to go.
And that's the thing too, because like you see him and they hug, and he's like, "You ready to go like have a great weekend?" They're both like, "Yeah," and they're at school and they go and they have this weekend, and that whole entire time they're together when they the throwing knives. They're throwing stars and they're throwing the stars at the tree, and Yorkie throws a star at the tree and it gets stuck in the kid's leg.
Yeah.
Like they have all these great like scenes together of just two little boy best friends.
Just guys being dudes.
Yeah, you know, and
dudes
it's
being
just
bros.
and it's great. And I love Yorkie so much, and I really do appreciate any scene he's in. But
Yorkie should have a spin-off show. I don't know what it is.
I would 100%
It's
watch
him and his
it.
mom fucking baking bread in post-World War II Germany, dude. They open a bakery.
That's it. That is 100% it. It's him and his mom,
Yeah.
Julia Child, baking for the world in France. I probably am gonna
Yorkie's
say Yorkie's Kitchen. Oh my god! I'm literally gonna call all my animator friends and be like, "I got the greatest idea. Let's get Taika on the phone." I think the sequence of the rabbit. I think that's just incredible. And two, we learn why he's Jojo Rabbit. That's when we learn.
Yeah.
So I would say that.
All right.
Side note, while we're talking about this scene, because we discussed this last night, if you had to kill the rabbit, would you be able to grab it by its neck and snap its neck? Because I said I would probably grab it with both of my hands by its hind legs and like Gronk spike it into the ground and hope that killed it.
And hit a rock.
Not even the ground's hard enough. I'm going to throw this thing with. I don't want it to suffer. I just don't think I could snap its neck with two hands, especially when I was 10. If I was 10, if I'm 10, I'm probably gonna drop kick its head and hope that breaks its skull or its neck.
I'm fighting the kids.
I'm not killing the rabbit.
I'm not killing the rabbit. I'm fighting them.
No, I'm saying if you had to, do you think you could snap?
Like
its
gun
neck?
to the head.
No.
How do I
Yeah,
kill
like
this
you're at
rabbit?
Hitler Youth Camp and they're gonna assume you're with the Jews if you don't kill the rabbit.
It's a rock in between another rock. Or it's a rock sandwich.
I mean, if like I don't like if it's a life or death matter, like I'm going to die if I don't kill this rabbit. Yeah, I can snap the rabbit's neck.
I think I'd go for like a Gronk at
No.
10. At 10.
Or
It's
it's
like
a
celery.
Boot, it's a boot to a rock. It's a stomp.
It's a people's
It's
elbow.
like celery.
Well, first of all, I'm gonna drop the sucker with the big boot, and then I'm gonna fucking get the crowd pumped up.
Here's the
I'm gonna
thing,
take
though.
off the elbow pad, and I'm gonna fake
Here-
the leg drop and drive the
Yeah,
elbow.
but here's
through
the
its
thing,
chest.
though. You don't want it to suffer. Yet you walked out with WWE entrance music. There's smoke going, and you're healing it up for the crowd. I mean, that thing is gonna suffer. Like you're better off just snapping the
wouldn't be
thing's
healing it up.
neck.
No, that
Pointing
thing
out
wouldn't
to the
know what's
crowd.
going on. It could think it's at a rave for all it knows. It doesn't.
No, I really
It's
think
stunned.
I
I
would
what's gonna happen.
I would probably either drop kick its head or just Gronk spike it right into the ground.
I don't think you'd kill it with a Gronk. I don't even
That's
know if
what
I'd kill a rabbit with a Gronk spike right now.
You have a better chance of killing the
On
rabbit quickly.
On dirt?
snapping
the
its
forest
neck.
floor?
You never killed a chicken before? Snap its neck.
Have you ever killed a chicken before?
No, but you snap its neck.
You ever
You
killed
said
anything?
it like, what, you never done this?
I have
You
killed
never
things in
fucking
my
killed
life, babe.
chickens? Are you kidding me?
What's next?
We did best performance heat check, most quote or best quote.
Okay. Stop offering me damn cigarettes. I'm 10. Sorry, I'm stressed. Oh, you got yourself a girlfriend, Jojo.
I think good for you, Jojo.
Yeah.
You got yourself a girlfriend.
I'm gonna go home, find my mom. I need cuddles. Here are your pamphlets, and here's your gun.
Let's see. I think I had 18. What a great year to be a girl. I had 18 babies for Germany. And she does this like. I think that one's great. I think, oh my God, people used to say a lot of nasty things about me. Oh, this guy's a lunatic. Oh, look at that psycho. He's gonna get us all killed. That's a great line too.
That's pretty good.
No, you know what the best line is? Fuck off, Hitler. That's the best line. When he kicks him
Yeah.
out the door.
That's a pretty good line.
That's a great line. Fuck off, Hitler. Who doesn't love fuck off, Hitler?
Fuck off, Hitler's a good one.
I mean, if I wasn't
love
gonna
it.
do that one, I'd probably say.
I love the beginning.
Or
I don't know if that would
what does she
count
say?
as the
What
best
does
line,
Scarlett
but-
Joe? What does Scar Joe say to Captain K when she knees him in the nuts? You're the reason my son looks like a. What is that?
Oh
line?
my God, that's a great line
That's
too.
a phenomenal line. I just can't remember. The punchline is the only thing I can't remember. So
Mhm.
Honestly, I think one of the best lines is, "My face looks like a goddamn road map."
Yeah.
That's a
God
great-
damn it, woman! My face looks like a street map.
That's what it is. Face looks like a street map. I think that's a great line too.
How's the leg, kid? Pretty good. Only hurts 80% of the time now.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know what I think the best line is though? What they could. I think that's just such an amazing line.
It has layers.
It has so many layers, and like, you know,
It's an
what
onion.
because it's the scene too where she's just standing there. He walks up to her and says, "What they do," and
Yeah.
she just responds, "What they could."
Yeah.
I think it says volumes about her character, but it also says volumes about the film.
This is also the second movie we've done now with public hangings are involved, and I'm going to say it again. Big fan of public hangings.
Yes. Bring him back.
Bring them back. Bring them back.
Mhm.
That's a good way to end this, I think. Bring back the public hangings.
Yeah. New score?
Nah, I'm 9-3.
Sticking with my 9.
I'll up it to a 9.
9. Yeah.
All right, guys. I guess.
Yeah, all in all, Jojo Rabbit, good film, 2 thumbs up.
Definitely
Go see
recommend
it.
Check it out if you haven't yet. It's no longer on HBO Max. You're going to have to buy it.
for $20.
Yeah, like an
So-
adult.
I
Well,
bought
that's
it.
what we had to do. last
Fair
night.
enough.
We had to buy it like adults.
Yeah. he-
Emily bought it like
Or
an
just-
adult.
yeah, it was on my card. He placed
Or just
purchase.
buy it and then
Yeah.
you're done paying for it.
Well, honestly, like as soon as he was like, "It's not anything," I was like, "Buy it." I didn't even look at the number. I was like, "Buy that movie. I don't care.
Mhm.
That movie 100% needs to be owned."
Definitely spend $20.
Oh, easy,
Good $20.
easy. That I'll get my money's worth in 2 weeks of that movie.
Mhm.
So.
All right, people. We'll see you next time. Hey guys, thanks for listening to the show, whatever movie it was about. This is a generic pre-recorded outro, but we hope you had fun. We sure do. Thanks for listening. See you next week.
And the only prescription is more cowbell. We will not go quietly
gold, Ponyville.
I will not die sober. Get those fucking loads. That's all, folks.